So after doing my All Dogs Go to Heaven review, I wanted to continue reviewing some of the brilliant Don Bluth films. One film that I actually never watched growing up was Titan AE. I actually only just watched this film this year after seeing it on Disney+. At first viewing, I didn't think much of it, but after now and watching it a second time, I knew I wanted to talk about it because even though this film is nothing crazy to rave about, I kinda miss films like Titan AE, and this is why. Hi there, it's me, the Average Critic, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more great content on all things animation, and let's talk about Titan AE, a classic 2000 film. Right off the bat, I noticed this film is doing something amazing, very similar to Treasure Planet, which actually came out 2 years after this, and that is the blend of 2D drawn animation and CGI. While films like Treasure Planet pull this off very well, films like Wish, well, they don't. Wah, wah, wah. But I do adore when I get to see this style of animation. For Titan AE, sometimes the blend of animation looks good, and sometimes it looks straight out of a PlayStation 2 era cutscene. But seeing it is always a wonderful thing, as the blend of animation is always a risk worth taking, and I have to applaud them for this. Especially considering this is 2 years before Treasure Planet, and this isn't a Disney movie. And that is something this film does incredibly well. Its character design is incredibly unique and interesting, and every character feels like it's taking a bit of a risk in the way it's designed. Preed is a wonderfully designed character who, just from his design, you kind of know there is something shady about him. Stith is a very oddly designed kangaroo-styled alien, and also every human character in this film is a frickin' model. Look, think of all the hottest animated characters out there. There's the obvious ones like Jessica Rabbit. I know Robin Hood is kind of a thing. Ariel, of course. Belle from Beauty and the Beast. But every character in Titan AE is drop dead gorgeous. Corso is easily one of the coolest characters ever. He has a red leather jacket, fingerless gloves. He's got that really kind of Hawaiian-like looking shirt. He's like the animated version of Han Solo. Akima is, well, she's something else. Yes! But seriously, she has the hair, the cool clothes, they even have this scene.
Huh? Sorry.
In or out?
Huh? In.
And you're gonna tell me they aren't trying to make this whole film a modeling show? I'm watching this scene right here. I can tell you, I'm not looking here, I'm looking here. Every time. But in all seriousness, there is something to be said how cool everyone is designed. The characters aren't given much background to go off, but the design gives away so much 2000 swag that I'm all here for it. And speaking of 2000 swag, this film's soundtrack is insane. If you ever want to show your children what the 2000s was like in film form, well, this film and its soundtrack, it's peak 2000 level. There are at least 3 moments in this film of sequences and montages set to the most punk rock rebel emo style songs ever. I mean, listening to the lyrics, the film score is not subtle at all. This film feels like every 2000s student soundtrack where you just put your favorite songs into the film. But the film's soundtrack very much represents the time period, and I'm sure if I'd have watched this film growing up, the punk kid in me would have frickin' loved it. But considering all this is something I want to touch on that I love about this film is its focus on action, fun, and catering towards boys rather than girls. This is not in any way a disrespect to any genders or gender stereotypes of any kind, but looking at how Disney made their mark in the world, their focus on Disney princesses, they are known for doing female leading films even though their percentage actually has more male protagonists. A lot of those male protagonists can appeal to the stereotypical girl because they are cute animals such as Dumbo, Bambi, and Oliver. But when it comes to overly masculine male protagonists in Disney, the top ones for me are Hercules, Aladdin, and Tarzan. For the record, I'm not trying to make a gender point here about anything. The point is, a film like Titan AE is all about badass characters with an overabundance of masculinity and heroics. Hell, even Akima has this vibe as she can clearly look after herself. I'm just saying that I miss animated films where the male protagonist is a male stereotypical hero. But for me, this sort of film is way more appealing towards boys than it is girls. And don't get me wrong, in a world where the percentage of films that come out do tend to cater towards a male audience, but not a lot of animated films tend to be catered just towards boys. But with Titan AE, it is a boy's dream when it comes to an animated film. I mentioned that this film can look like a PlayStation 2 game at times, but the film even feels like that. The way everything is designed, the characters, the ships, and the world, it feels straight out of a fun PlayStation 2 game filled with wonder and imagination. The film also feels weirdly structured, almost as if they are missing segments of the film, and it's cut a lot in order to keep the story moving. And the pace of the movie is very Don Bluth. If you're not watching the film closely, you can find yourself missing a lot. The pace and the script is all about keeping everything moving. There are a lot of sequences with giant set pieces which give the whole adventure space movie its vibe. Luckily, all these performers keep you on your toes, with all of the cast doing a wonderful job as these characters. They might all feel a little bit two-dimensional, but you can't help but see the twinkle this film has in its eye. It's like, you know it's not great, but you respect it has this wonderful charm, and that it's just trying to, have some fun. So after all that, it's gonna get my professional rating of 6 out of 10, and my personal rating of 7 out of 10. The film feels like a pre-existing first draft of Treasure Planet, but Treasure Planet kinda did it better. The overstimulated masculinity of all the characters and the very clear sex appeal this film is made, it's almost as if what makes this film stand out is also what makes it fail. I prefer Treasure Planet because Jim Hawkins is a character who has emotional scenes and moments of sensitivity. I even mentioned one of the most masculine and strongest characters, that is Hercules. Even he has some moments of vulnerability. But with Titan AE, the whole badass fun space adventure is freaking amazing, and it's the reason why I love it. But also, it's the reason why it's not as good as other male-driven animated movies. Titan AE, I thank you for being different and refreshing, especially in modern times with toxic masculinity being such a huge topic of discussion today. And while you could argue that this film caters heavily towards the stereotypical male fantasy, I'm okay with the male fantasy, as it's just a fun badass space adventure with some awesome ideas and some of the sexiest characters ever.
I'll be in the basement. Doing what?
What do you think?
Thank you for joining me in this video. Let me know in the comment section if you have seen this film, as it bombed at the box office. Even I didn't know this film existed until this year, so, let me know if you've actually even seen this movie and what your thoughts on it. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to watch one of my many others, and make sure to subscribe to the channel for more great content on all things animation. And if you have any ideas for future videos or films you want me to watch, be sure to let me know in the comment section. But thank you so much for watching me, guys, and I will see you all in the next one.